up, beautiful Virgo gang, Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. That's me. I'm going to read your tarot cards. So let's tap into some Virgo energy, get them some weekly messages. As always, guys, these are general messages on YouTube. Not everything I say will resonate with every single one of you out there every week. So keep that in mind, know that in advance. Hope lots of the messages that come through resonate with you, motivate you, empower you, inspire you. If they don't, that's okay. Please release them. Assume they're going out to someone else. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. All right. We're going to start out with these wacky cards. The 90s Oracle with this cute little troll. It's new. I'm still getting used to this deck, but it's kind of nostalgic is the perfect word for it. So let's see. What Oracle card wants to come out for Virgo? We're going to let this drive your tarot reading. All right. So, pressure from a female in your life, possibly a boss. There's someone who's really out of touch, though. So this person may be giving you criticism or putting some sort of pressure on you, especially in a workplace. Or it could be a mother or a mother-in-law. There's kind of like a feminine energy. And I don't know. I don't want to say yet, does she mean well? Because I'm not sure. But either way, it's something about this. It's saying to me it's out of date. It's like the old maid. It's kind of the awkward one in the bunch. But for some reason, it's having a tremendous amount of pressure or influence over you and either your job description, your duty, your role in the family. They don't understand. They're out of touch. And you want something better. This is funny. I think you are trying to put your best foot forward. I think you're trying to put on a good face because there's, I don't get this message a lot, but I can already tell in this specific, there's a big age gap here. It feels like someone is a little bit out of touch with what is appropriate conduct in the office or appropriate social cues, social mannerisms. I'm not at all saying that this is inappropriate via like, sexuality. I'm really not getting that at all. Even if you are interested in same-sex partnerships, it's not that. It's more inappropriate with like this person doesn't have a filter. And I suppose this could always go vice versa. This could be you if we're dealing with maybe cross-watchers. If you're dealing with a low-vibing Virgo who maybe doesn't have a filter, right? If they're ruled by planet Mercury, they just everything they think they say. So, whoever this message is for, just be cognizant of that. But because I am setting the intention for Virgo's reading, for most of you, Virgo, this is someone who's acting that way towards you. They treat you like a baby. They treat you like you're not intelligent, or you just get this vibe that they look down on you. And so I think I'm almost getting the idea that you have dreams. You have like anxiety dreams about confronting them. But some of your dreams, it's like you're really working out your hostility and aggression because you have to be all buttoned up when you're around this person. But in your dreams, you can let loose and, spew fire. It's very interesting. So I would say that by this coming up in your reading, there's a need for you to deal with this in a way that is healthy, that actually like nips it in the bud because, in any type of relationship, the longer you sort of, choose to stomach it and let it build up and up and up, then you're going to get the volcano. Like there's going to be a huge blowout versus something that could maybe be tackled in a professional way or however you want to choose to do it. This could also be something very uncomfortable with your mother-in-law. I just sort of keep getting like they love to tell you how to dress or how to plan the wedding and you're over it. But, because there is no pleasing this person. This person, I think, gets off in a sense of being in this superior position and getting to comment and critique everybody else's life choices and styles, work ethic, work habits. And I mean, I don't have pretty much any question that for most of my Virgos watching, of course you do a kick-ass job at work. You're a Virgo. Like, it's in your blood. Most of you, right? So the fact that this person is finding reasons to criticize, I would even offer this, like, nobody in the world is more harsh on their own performance than Virgo. You guys tend to be very hard on yourself. That's neither good or bad, right? It totally depends on the context and the extremity to which that affects you. I say that a lot because I have a lot of Virgo in my chart. I actually have like a stellium there. So I get that. We tend to be our own toughest critics. And sometimes we can recognize that and understand that, maybe we're being perfectionists and that can be our downfall. Other times it comes to our benefit because how do I want to say this? We put our best foot forward. Anything we put out into the world, we put our heart and blood, our blood, sweat, and tears into it. We don't settle for just okay. It's not sloppy. It has to be good. It has to be presentable. We want to be proud of the work we do. So that's like, this person doesn't understand anything about you. And so ultimately this tarot message is not about pleasing them. This is either making friends with the idea that this person is not your friend. And maybe that's a very specific message for a lot of you to hear, is that doesn't mean you can't interact with this person and be nice, or however you want to say it, sociable, professional. But yeah, I think you're looking at this wrong if you're hoping that this person is going to be your friend, because they're not at your vibe. They're not on your level. This person has a whole bunch of their own demons they're dealing with. And so I would imagine that this person is actually very critical of themselves. They probably never feel like they do good enough in this world, or that, they are riddled with anxiety and insecurities, but you would never know it because how they deal with that, it's their shadow side. It projects it off onto others, so that, they don't have to deal with the fact that they don't have to face their shadow side to understand that there's things that they don't like about themselves. They'd rather just tell everybody else what they're doing wrong. The thing is, that's what I mean. There is no pleasing this person. It's a tireless game. So if you're feeding into that game of trying to win the approval, the validation, the pat on the head from whoever this is, don't waste your fucking time. Like, no offense. Like, and I say that with love, because in this, I'm Team Virgo on this one for most of you. Whoever this is, this person's out of touch. They just don't get it. And the thing is, this situation is not unique to you. It seems like this person has a trail of other people who get that exact same vibe from them. This could be a boss at your work, and all your coworkers are kind of like, what is the deal with this person? And I hate to make it a gender thing. It could be a male, but I just have to be honest. Every now and then I get little intuitive hits, and this does feel very feminine. This feels like a female who just, they have no sense of introspection. It's like my way or the highway, only the thing is, they're not a happy person. So I guess for 1 second, step out of your current relationship with them and sort of, do like a higher perspective. I was getting like an out-of-body experience. If you're watching the interactions with not just you, but this person with everybody else, you would see that, like, it's not all there for them. I almost want to say there's a couple screws missing. So you can look at it in a more broad way and understand this really has nothing to do with you. I don't know why it's coming through so strong, but I guess because there's sort of a forewarning here that you need to find a healthy way to deal with this. And that's going to be different for some of you. For some of you, it's having a conversation. For some of you, maybe it's involving a superior, so that there's sort of like an unbiased, or what do you call that? Like a third person on the conversation, so it doesn't feel like a personal attack on them, like a mediator of sorts. And unfortunately for some of you, it's almost easier if it's in the workplace, because that mediator role is much easier in theory than it is if this is like a mother or a mother-in-law. It's like, well, it's like mixing business and pleasure. It's setting up healthy boundaries. Someone's a salty bitch. I'm just kidding. But sort of. I also think this is a fun oracle deck, you guys, right? Take it with a grain of salt. Pun intended. Salty. I also think, though, in all seriousness, though, that is like a wink to you of like, salty. You're getting aggravated. You're getting hot under the collar, and it's only so long that you can like bite your lip. Do you understand what I mean? Like, this again could present itself in a way that becomes a tower moment. And the thing is, this person, I can tell, they're emotionally manipulative. They act again like their shit don't stink and like, queen of the castle, so to say. But the minute anybody comes to them with even constructive criticism, like in a very gentle approach way of, oh, hey, like I just wanted to talk to you, they immediately get defensive. They immediately play the victim. They immediately play the crybaby, or however you want to say it. And so that's what you're dealing with. So I feel for you, Virgo, because in a sense, well, let's see what the tarot says. Because I understand your struggle with this relationship, because essentially you have some, what is the word? You have some connection to this person where you can't just cut them out of your life for some reason. Either your wages, your job, your salary depends on it, or again, the harmony and peace among the family depends on it. But at some point, though, it's like something has to be done to either protect your energy or to clear the air so that you don't end up again like tower moment, volcano, just it all erupts at once uncontrollably. There's some funny message here. It's so specific, but this person, if you dine out or eat out with them, they always send their meal back. It's like, that's what I mean. It's like everything is never up to snuff. They have unrealistic standards, and it's just they're miserable. They're not a happy person. it's like their reason in life, their being, is to correct other people because it's the only thing that makes them feel a sense of self, or a sense of, I don't even know what this is. And so here's the thing. As a tarot reader, I can say all that, but then I'm also going to flip the script and be like, but choosing to view this person in a venomous way, who is that helping, right? So again, it's, you can distance yourself from it, but essentially we have to get to the core of this, which I can already tell you because I've read tarot for long enough. This is probably going to do a 180 for you, where you actually get to a point where you start to empathize with them because you see how destructive their behavior is and just so desperately screams in a nonverbal way that they lack self-love. This person probably didn't have parents who loved them. They probably grew up in a household that, you know, they were riddled with anxiety and guilt about never being good enough. And maybe this is you. Maybe this is going to hit home to you. And because of that, it's going to offer you a greater perspective to understand their viewpoint or why they operate. I'm not saying you guys operate in the same way, but I think there's something similar about maybe your backgrounds or your story where there's a commonality where you guys essentially, your paths crossed in the universe because you could learn something about each other. And maybe it's not so much you're going to learn something about them, but by interacting with them, it allows you to reflect back on yourself and maybe some of the internal work you've done, some of the shadow work you've done, and feel good about yourself knowing that you worked through that. It could have manifested in like a very ugly way for you, the way it did for this person, but it didn't. Because you were accountable. You took responsibility for your narrative and you changed the script, right? If there was something you didn't like that was hindering your ability to grow or hindering your ability to be kind, to be generous, to be empathetic, you worked on that. This person didn't. And so it's almost by limiting your time with them, you are denying them the beautiful lessons they could learn from you. And again, I get it. Some of you are like, but they're not willing to learn. So that's tricky, isn't it? It's not your responsibility to teach them, especially if they're unwilling. Again, barking up the wrong tree. If this person is adverse or opposed to any any criticism or really guidance, wisdom, conversations, an ability to see past their own perspective, then you're right. It's a waste of breath. It's a waste of time. But I guess my major thing to you, it's not about winning their approval. It never was. That was never the reason you were matched up with this person. So what is this person's redeeming quality here? Because it's driving me nuts. I think the way it's driving you nuts. You kind of did it to yourself. This person reaps what they sow. They give nothing but criticism to everybody else because that's all they have for themselves. Yeah, whenever this person approaches someone else, whatever it is that they offer, that person is immediately like, ugh, like I don't want anything that this person is offering. What if you were the exception to the rule? I'm just putting it out there. Do you have to be? Of course not, Virgo. You have free will. You can do whatever you want. But if this is coming up in your reading, it's a significant enough player in your life for you guys. At this point, you should probably already know who this is. If it's not your reading, it's not your reading. I'm sorry, it won't be every time, but again, mother-in-law, boss, even a friend, a sister-in-law, a cousin. Again, a really strong female energy. This is very similar to a Libra reading I did not long ago too. So maybe it has to do with a Libra. Maybe, I don't know. That essentially was all about rebalancing the scales and showing this person the love that they never got anywhere else in their life. Not because you have to, but because something about this story makes you feel very sad for this person. So extending some sort of gesture their way, it doesn't have to be tangible gifts, whatever you think is appropriate. Inviting them out to coffee, being that one person who actually acknowledges them or does something that changes the trajectory of how everybody else has treated them, because nothing's getting any better. And I mean, as we've already said, what could possibly change this person's mind or their perspective to get out of their own way? Like their head is like so far up their ass. It's repulsive. So anytime they approach someone, everyone is like, oh, I gotta go. Like they're literally walking away from it. What if you were the exception? If this is a boss, what if you set up a meeting to share ideas? And what if you were more open with issues, I don't know, that you're having in this environment? And again, bringing in a third party as a mediator, if that would help. This person probably has severe depression. This person suffers from insomnia. There's things that keep them up in the middle of the night. So what should Virgo do? Actually, well, I want to finish this though. What is this person's, this person has money. Possessions are very important to this person. They fill their house with possessions as a way of reminding them that they are abundant, that they have stuff. The stuff that they don't have is relationships, connection to people. And I mean this in the truest version of the word. I'm not trying to make a joke out of this, but they are almost socially slowed, like socially retarded. I believe that's the correct term. Again, I'm saying that with empathy, but their social abilities are null. They lack that. That wasn't developed for them as a child. So to them, in a sense, they don't understand why people are always running from them. They don't understand why when they say something that they think is a good idea, it's met with opposition or repulsion, or just flat out, I'm going to walk away and not engage with you at all. This person doesn't get it. They just don't get it. What is it that Virgo is being advised to do here? And I mean, you already know Virgo. You do. I would say, I'm not saying give this person the benefit of the doubt per se. I'm saying give this tarot reason, or this tarot reading, the benefit of the doubt. Is there something that you think you're being told to do by this coming up in your weekly message? Is there something you've thought about doing as like a peace offering or a break the ice, or again, like tackle the issue at hand and not let it sort of swell and become this giant monster? Some of you're being asked to follow through on that intuitive hit. You have to get raw. You have to get real. You have to get authentic with them. You have to commit to your own happiness, even to your marriage. If this is a mother-in-law, maybe that's a good way to start the conversation. Healthy boundaries between the couple versus the in-laws. You have to commit to your success, to your stability, to your longevity in this relationship. And understand where to draw boundary lines. I really want to help you with this. This is a tricky reading. If this commitment to your job or this commitment to your marriage means enough where you're not looking to dip or exit, and this is the only issue at hand, again, this is solvable. This is fixable. This is not a monster that should drive you out of something you otherwise are very happy in or love doing. You're dealing with a sour apple in the bunch. And so I don't mean, I'm going to keep pulling, but I don't mean to make this a cop-out, but maybe therein lies the message. How committed are you to this marriage, to this job, to this partnership, to this friendship? Is it worth one sour apple kind of getting your goat or getting it the better of you? After I said getting your goat, I was like, oh, is it a Capricorn? It might even be another Virgo, you know? Will there ever be a peace offering or anything here? You're going to have to do it because this person won't initiate it. Is there any, I don't know what this is exactly. I don't know. Is there any chance of these two getting on the same level? If so, what's the storyline to getting there? Expressing kindness, I think. As much as it kills you, because this person doesn't deserve it. You don't owe it to them, but you're going to do it anyway. A lot of you are, because you're going to be the bigger person. You're going to step up into your role as a light worker, as committed to bringing out the best in others and bringing forth the best part of yourself, even if you have to swallow your pride a little bit, even if you have to swallow your ego a little bit. Even though you feel like this person doesn't deserve the time, the energy, the effort, they don't deserve extra attention or coddling. But do you see how almost that's exactly why they need it that much more? Because they don't get it from anyone else. And I don't know, it's coming up in your reading. So it's almost like God has chosen you, or source, spirit, your angel guides maybe this is in a more spiritual sense, if you're willing to go here with me. Maybe this is one of your missions in life, right? When you were birthed into this world at the exact time, date, circumstance, place to those parents that you were, maybe you signed a soul contract and it was to make right a wrong in your life, maybe to make up for past karma in another lifetime. Because let's just say maybe in another lifetime, this was you, right? So maybe now it's like it's your duty here in this world to include those who've been excluded, to offer sympathy to, I don't know if I'd say an underdog. I don't think this poor person necessarily warrants my championingship of them, but I think they've had a rough go at life, so no wonder people cast them aside, because that's the energy they give out, is that low-vibing energy. Your energy seems to be so brave and courageous and bright and shining, and you choose to shed your light on this person even though it's hard. That's really where I see this going. What's the risk in being nice to this person? Is there anything? That they're going to continue to be a jerk? Okay, well, then you can just go about your business. What if you were the turning point? What if you were the one that changed the game? Even just a little bit. I'm not saying you're going to work miracles and give this person a spiritual makeover. Again, that's not your job. What if you were the exception to the rule? What if you were that one person who actually gave a shit and actually said something? What if you were that one person who was brave enough to actually confront the boss or confront the issue? You don't need to do it in an attacking way, but this is the bridge to getting over something major. Cups have been spilled. This talks about emotional heartbreak, disappointment, always feeling let down, feeling like you're casted in the shadow. That's the thing, I keep reiterating, as negative as this person is, it's not fun to be them. And that's, I think, the key link that's missing to everybody's perception. I think because they come off as a know-it-all and a critic and I'm always right, people must assume that they go home feeling so inflated and confident when really it's the exact opposite. This person lacks self-love. They have no respect for themselves. They have no love for themselves. They have no respect for boundaries of other people, right? Because they were not shown that, at any point in their life. This person's probably single, or they're married to someone who doesn't love them. You may have a very unique position in this company, in this family dynamic, to be the catalyst of major change and transformation in this person's life. If no one ever makes them aware, they're always going to be in this caterpillar of rightness, of righteousness, of always being correct. What if you were the one who, in a kind gesture, allows them to know that their truth is not your truth, that you very much disagree with them, or something of the sort? Because here's the thing, as tricky as the Five of Cups is, it can be victimization. It can be woe is me, right? Do you see how something can be salvaged there, though? This is not saying all is lost. When I'm asking for what's between you and this person, this relationship in your life, yes, there's been disappointment, there's been arguments, there's been spilled emotion, there's been someone who's been either hostile or careless with someone else's feelings. What's left here is two cups that remain: friendship, compatibility. In a love reading, I would even say potentially, romantic prospects. I don't think that's the case here, but maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe this has a whole other layer to it that I'm not seeing. But there's something that can be salvaged here, and I think it's friendship, or at least a peace offering, cups, hearts, emotions coming together and exchanging something beautiful that potentially offers this relationship the power of transformation. The Hanged Man, it's hanging there. It's waiting to be changed and transformed. But until somebody breaks the ice, until somebody takes action as a light worker to do their spiritual work here on this earth, the death card won't be ushered in. And yet it's inevitable, I would say. Eventually something about this relationship has to change and transition. Maybe it ends. Maybe you up and leave this job, but I almost sense you're stoked to be here. This is almost, for some of you, this is your dream job. This is your dream partner. You've met the man you're marrying and you're so happy. But what about the mother-in-law or whatever this is, right? Is it worth sacrificing and giving up something that is your joy, your life, your livelihood, a thriving sense in your life? Because again, one sour apple in the bunch. There's potential for this relationship, even this person, to undergo huge transformation, but it would require you to step out of your comfort zone, for one thing. to set your ego aside, to disregard your vengeance or your need, not revenge, but your hostility, your aggression towards this person, and to love them anyway, or to shine a light on them, or show them some gesture, be it big or small, that you see them. You think you exist in the shadow. I see you. I hear you. Acknowledgement. I would just leave it at that. But this is fixable if you want to do the work. It's not going to be easy. It sounds like a pain in the ass, Virgo. I would understand why you wouldn't want to, but I also think the reward at the end of this will be huge. And I'm even going to say it. Whatever you believe in as a higher power, God, source, spirit, universe, it's like they're watching over you, and this may be your chance to establish some sort of karmic justice, again, to make up for whatever you want to call it, misdoings, wrongdoings in a past lifetime. Just one option or one perspective to view this for, because I get some of you are like, why is this all falling on me? You know, I'm one of 100 coworkers. You know, I'm one, this is my in-law, but there's, 3 or 4 other women that married into the family, or men, or whoever, right? It's like, why me? I guess Spirit is saying, why not you? You're just as good as any. You're a great worker. We trust you. We know you can handle this. It's up to you. Virgo, this is a crazy one. How are we doing for time? Yeah, I'm going to wrap you there. But I will see you next week. I will see you next Wednesday for more tarot readings. If you made it this far, please remember to like the video, subscribe, and until then, I will see you next time. Bye, Virgo.